Hey guys, it's FSG Anonymous coming back at it with another video. A little bit of a different one today. We're going to be doing a predictions video for the NFL season. Myself, Money, and Baggins will be making our picks weeks 1 through 17, and we'll see who has the biggest, football brain in the FSG clan here. We're going to get right into the video. Week 1, we have Tampa Bay and Dallas. Sports bets have Tampa Bay as an 8.5 point favorite, and I completely agree with that. Tampa Bay pretty much left their roster unchanged, and I feel like their chemistry is going to be even better in year number 2. Dallas has a young secondary, a younger linebacking core. Michael Parsons making his debut, and of course the big injury on the offensive line, Zach Martin. A lot of question marks for Dak Prescott, whether or not he's going to be able to stay healthy this year, and if Zeke's going to have a bounce back year. Between Tampa Bay's front seven and their chemistry they've built on offense this season, I think it's a no doubter. You got to take Tampa Bay here in week 1. I think Dallas might make it close. My prediction is 34-21 Tampa Bay. Week number 2. My team Atlanta versus Philadelphia. Again, these two teams have played really close the last maybe 6 meetings, I believe. They've all been like 6-7 point games. Atlanta, again, another team with a lot of question marks. How are they going to do without Julio Jones? Is Kyle Pitts going to make that impact that myself and all the other Atlanta fans are hoping for? Philadelphia, on the other hand, yes, it's Jalen Hurts, and we haven't seen much of him from last year, but they have a pretty stout defensive and offensive lines, and I think that's going to be the game changer here for this game. Is just in the trenches. I think Philadelphia is going to be able to get to Matt Ryan quickly, and I don't think Atlanta is going to be able to move the ball as much as they would like. Philadelphia squeaks out I would say more of a slower, boring game, 19-16. Our third matchup of the week, we have Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Buffalo coming off a great season, making it all the way to the AFC Championship. Pittsburgh kind of, started off hot and just blew up towards the end of the year. Again, the line here is 6.5 6.5 for Buffalo. I think you got to take Buffalo here. Big Ben, a lot of retirement question marks ending the season. I think Buffalo will just improve on what they've had last year. And my prediction for this game, 28-16 Buffalo. Our next game here, Minnesota and Cincinnati. Minnesota's a 3-point favorite. Cincinnati, again, they added Jamar Chase. They made a few moves, adding some offensive linemen. Rookie linemen don't really do that well, especially second, third round linemen. I think that's going to be a struggle again for these guys. And Minnesota has a pretty solid defensive front seven. I would take Minnesota and the points here. Minnesota 28, Cincinnati 17. Our next game here, we have San Francisco and Detroit. San Francisco, they got all their players back. They lost to injury last year. That defense is going to be scary. I think Jimmy Garoppolo will have enough decent plays in the offense that they're going to be able to put up a bunch of points here on Detroit. Detroit, again, they added Jared Goff in the offseason, trade for Matt Stafford. It's kind of a rebuilding season for Detroit. I don't think this will be much of a game. I think San Francisco's defense will be all over Detroit. And, I think the smart pick here would be to take San Francisco. Our next game here, I think this is probably one of the more interesting games here in the week 1. We have Tennessee and Arizona, two really good teams going at it. Arizona, of course, adding J.J. Watt in the offseason. Tennessee adding Julio Jones. This one's going to really come down to, I think, the run game. And I think Derrick Henry's going to have quite the day against Arizona. This might be the wake-up moment for Zaven Collins. So here I'm going to take Tennessee. Again, I think this one will be closer. Tennessee is a 3-point favorite, so I'm going to take Tennessee 24-21. Click here for Tennessee. There we go. All right, our next game here, Seattle and Indianapolis. Indianapolis adding Carson Wentz in the offseason. I think Seattle here is definitely the favorite. We're not sure how Carson Wentz is going to do his first year in Indy. He does have a great offensive line and a little bit more weapons than he did in Philadelphia. Philadelphia was kind of dysfunctional last year, but I would still go Seattle here. It's a smarter money. They are 2.5-point favorites. I could see them winning by maybe a touchdown, so Seattle for this game. Another interesting game, Washington and Los Angeles. Washington's defense was just unbelievable last year. They had a Jamin Davis linebacker out of Kentucky. And Los Angeles, Justin Herbert was coming out party for him. He was drafted just after Tua. I think Miami's going to really kick themselves in the butt for that one. Again, this was another tough one to decide. I think Los Angeles just has a little bit of a better offense, and that's exactly who I'm going to go with here. They are a point favorite. I think they will just have enough to get over Washington's D. I'm going to say 24-21 Chargers. Carolina and New York. The NFL's smart. They made this game week 1. If this was week 5 or week 6, nobody would watch this game. It's going to be Sam Darnold against his old team, except Sam Darnold actually has an NFL team to play with, and New York is just, they're in that lull of like a rebuild right now. They did add Zach Wilson, but Carolina's defense is pretty solid. They're going to get all over Wilson in this game. I'm going to check the line here for this game. The line is 4.5. If you're a betting man, you would take Carolina. I think Carolina wins by at least 2 touchdowns here. Sam Darnold will look pretty solid, and Christian McCaffrey is going to have quite the day against that New York Jets defense. So take Carolina and the 4.5. Jacksonville and Houston. A great opportunity for Trevor Lawrence to get some confidence. He's playing a Houston team that just traded Bradley Roby to the Saints. We can tell Houston's tanking this year. They want the number 1 pick. They want Spencer Rattler out of Oklahoma. Jacksonville's a smart money here. They are actually 3-point favorites. I think Tyrod Taylor might make it close. I think this game ends somewhere like a weird 25-21 or something like that. I think Taylor and company will be able to make it at least interesting, but Trevor Lawrence will come out on top for this one. Our next game here, a battle of the AFC or an AFC divisional rematch between Kansas City and Cleveland. This one, I think, is going to be a lot closer than people think. KC is a 5.5-point favorite. I think that's around where they should be, but I don't think Cleveland's going to be any pushover in this game. Last year, this was the game, I believe, that Patrick Mahomes got smoked, and they were able to go for it on 4th down. I think it was 4th and 2, and Tyreek Hill converted it. But it was a close game nonetheless. Kansas City usually plays well week 1. Andy Reid usually has his guys ready. But I'm going to go ahead and pick the upset here. I'm going to go ahead and take Cleveland in this game. I don't know. I just have a weird feeling about this game. Kansas City might be in a Super Bowl hangover. And but yeah, this is going to be a must-watch. And I'm surprised this wasn't at least a late-night game. Our next game here, New England and Miami. New England coming back, adding Mac Jones, signing a bunch of free agents. Bill went crazy with the money. He really went out. Got a bunch of, I would say, B-class guys like Kendrick Bourne, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry. They have a bunch of starters coming back, such as Dante Hightower. I think New England's going to be ready. Miami, Tua looked decent in the preseason. Nothing spectacular. Will Fuller, obviously out for week 1. Myles Gaskin and company. I think Miami's just, I don't know, they feel like a dysfunctional franchise. I mean, I know they finished 10-6 last year, but Bill Belichick's going to have his boys ready for week 1. And I'm gonna go ahead and take New England here. They are 3-point favorites. I think it would be a smart bet to take New England. I think they might win by at least 10 points. And our next one here, Green Bay and New Orleans. Another great matchup here. Aaron Rodgers against that New Orleans defense. A lot of question marks surrounding Jameis Winston. The guy's got crazy. He had some crazy operation done on his eyes, so he can see now. So maybe he'll throw 10 less picks this year. But I think the smart money here is definitely on Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers is pissed, and we know what happens when Aaron Rodgers is pissed. The guy goes out and wins MVPs. New Orleans is definitely going to make it close to their defense. I wouldn't touch this game. Green Bay's 3.5-point favorites. I think New Orleans will make it close, but I'm going to go ahead and take Green Bay with this one. Denver and the Giants. Kind of a boring game, and honestly, this is a really tough one. Denver has a pretty solid defense. Teddy Bridgewater is quite the game manager. I think they're going to be able to move the ball on the Giants, but the Giants did have an improved. I believe they had finished with a top 15 defense last year. The line is Denver is a 3-point favorite, but I'm going to go ahead and take the upset here. I think Daniel Jones and the return of Saquon Barkley, they'll be just like the Los Angeles Chargers game. It's going to be back and forth, but I believe that New York's got a better offense than Denver. And I'm going to go ahead and take New York. Our next game here, the LA Rams and the Chicago Bears. Again, Justin Fields, a great pickup by Chicago with the 11th overall selection. And they should be glad they're not playing him. Andy Dalton, pray for Andy Dalton, because he's going to get rushed from all sides from the Rams. Aaron Donald is going to have quite the day against Chicago. Chicago kind of just, with Matt Nagy, just a weird franchise. I mean, Andy Dalton, he's a good game manager, don't get me wrong, but Los Angeles with that firepower, with Matt Stafford, having Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp and company, there's no way I see Chicago winning, and that 7.5-point line is generous. I think it could be more, so I would say take the Rams here in week 1. And our Monday night game, Baltimore and Las Vegas. Again, Baltimore is a 4-point favorite. This is a great game to bet on. I think Baltimore's going to come out flying this year. Their defense is just as good as it was last year. Lamar Jackson's going to have a great day. Vegas is just, I don't know where they're going in the next 5 years. They're kind of in that middle of like a 7-10 team. They didn't really add a whole lot. Henry Ruggs has a lot to prove his second year, and hopefully he gets the chemistry with Derek Carr, because I have him on my fantasy team. But definitely the smart money's on Baltimore, and only a 4-point favorite. This is definitely a game you could put some money on and not really have to worry. So we're going to go ahead and take Baltimore here for the final week of the games. So we'll just quickly go through Tampa, Philly, Buffalo, Mini, San Fran, Tennessee, Seattle, Los Angeles Chargers, Carolina, Jacksonville, Cleveland, New England, Green Bay, New York Giants, LA Rams, and Baltimore. And we're going to see if we can save the picks. Before I end the video, go take a look at our other videos, lots of simulations, and stay tuned for more content from those. Like and subscribe to FSG. It really means a lot to us. We just hit 40 subscribers. And go follow your boy FSG Money on Twitch. He streams a lot of Apex. Grind to Masters, I believe, is what he's on. And yeah, so stay tuned for our predictions for week number 2. And we'll see you then. Peace.